It's that time of year where you're getting invited out to a bunch of holiday parties. You probably got your office holiday parties. People are sending you cookies and goodies. In fact, I want to remind you, coming up this Saturday, it's Holiday with the Hovens. You can RSVP for this event, 293-5815. Again, Holiday with the Hovens. Senator John Hoeven and Mikey will be there. A very special event, $500 per couple for the VIP, which takes place in the afternoon. The event goes till about 7:30, $100 per person for that. My wife and I will be helping out with that VIP piece of it and hopefully get a chance to see you there. Hello, Heartland. I'm Chris Berg, wherever you are, wherever you may be. As always, thank you for making me a part of your day right here on AM 1100 The Flag. This is where you and I come together. We talk the truth and have a darn good time doing it. Every other Monday, we like to do our Medical Moments piece with Dr. Spencer Berry. You can find out more about him at FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. Again, FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. And I want to have him with us this morning to say, you know what, Chris, we all know we're coming up against this holiday party time, all kinds of goodies around. What are some tips to make sure we can hopefully survive the holiday parties and keep ourselves at least a little bit fit, because we know what's coming next year is New Year's resolution. So, Dr. Berry, first off, thanks for this morning. First off, thanks for joining me this morning as we move into this holiday party season. I'm one of those guys. My grandma makes these just unbelievable peanut butter cookies with the Hershey Kisses on them. I'm stuffing my face all holiday season long with those. What are some tricks to help me not just gorge myself over the next few weeks?
Well, good morning, Chris. It's great to be here, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Let me be one of the first to wish you that. As we start, really get into the teeth of the season here now with a lot of the holiday parties coming up. Again, like, as you said, a lot of tasty goodies around, and again, I think it's important to remember life's a consumer event, and we're meant to have fun. It's something that, and we want to enjoy ourselves, and we want to be able to do some of the things. And so it's if we're practicing, healthy eating and learning how to eat healthfully for the long term, that doesn't mean we cannot enjoy, as you mentioned, whether it be cookies or some other of our favorite snacks and things. But there are some things we can do. And holiday parties, for instance, if you're planning to attend one that evening, one of the good things to do is to make sure you get some protein about an hour ahead of time, 45 minutes to an hour ahead of time, whether you make yourself just a hamburger patty, a good palm-sized hamburger patty or a chicken breast.
But just the patty,
just
right?
that alone. That's right.
No bun,
stay away from the buns, stay away from the condiments, just eat that alone, and that'll give you up to 20, 30 grams of protein right there. And protein is very satiating, very satisfying, and it drives your appetite down. As far as things that drive our appetite, again, protein being very satisfying. Carbohydrates, on the other hand, sweets and those sugars you're talking about, they tend to push our insulin levels up. And when our insulin levels are pushed up, that is the hormone that pushes our appetite the most. That's why after you eat sweets, you want more. You'll eat them and you'll eat them, and then you'll want more, and you'll find yourself craving them. And that's why if we start off our day that way, or in this case, if you're at a holiday party and you're consuming a lot of these, within 20, 30 minutes, you're wanting more, and that's because you've driven the insulin levels up. That's one of the things, biggest drivers of our appetite. And so the best way to do that is to keep that quieted and to wait. Again, protein an hour ahead of a party of that nature will assure that when you arrive at the party that, again, your appetite's in check, and so that you can go about choosing wisely, and maybe looking at whatever is laid out and what's available, and maybe picking, say, your favorite. Instead of picking all four, pick one of the four items that you really like, and you can have that, and you can enjoy that. I mean, it's as long as you remember it's a holiday and not a holla month, and if you turn it into a long-term situation where you're eating that way for, be it 2 weeks, you're going to, again, the average does gain 5 from to January, again, the average does gain 5 from to January, from to January 1st. And the ways to do that, many people are very satisfied if they maintain that weight through the holidays. And again, it's up to each individual as to when they decide, hey, I want to work hard. I'm ready to get this under control. I'm ready to do the things I need to do to make a difference. And sometimes you have to break through to get down. Other times it's just a matter of maintaining. Once you learn how to do it properly, you can fit in treats, you can fit in snacks, and you can do a lot of this because you always know the guidelines and the guideposts to come back to.
Dr. Spencer Berry, FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. Again, FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. You can find out more about him there. We're talking about surviving the holiday parties, the holiday season. He just mentioned the average American over the holidays from Thanksgiving to New Year's gains about 5 to 10 pounds. What can you do to help mitigate that and start out 2012 strong? One of the things you just mentioned is, hey, kind of pick your favorite treat. You know, for me, it's those cookies with the Hershey Kisses. Maybe it's the wedding cake cookies, but pick your favorite thing. Don't try to have 5 of those. But obviously, when people go to these holiday parties, they're going to be served some cocktails as well. We're not suggesting going out there and drink and drive, but if you're going to ration yourself in cocktails, is there a kind of a safe drink to help mitigate some of the caloric intake and putting on the pounds?
Well, the biggest thing with alcoholic beverages, which again we see a lot of them this time of year, it's not so much the alcohol as what we mix it with that usually gets us into trouble. And so, keeping an eye on what if somebody's having a mixed beverage, if they're having, say, the soda with it or whatever else they may, a juice of some sort. Those are the issues that they'll actually get more calories and they'll get into bigger trouble with the
So you're just
the
saying
sugars.
keep it on the rocks?
Well, it's water. There's water. There's different types of tonic water or club sodas. There's a variety of things that you can do to keep down the caloric content. Again, because most people are going to enjoy a little libation during this time of year, and so if that be your preference, again, you got to do it moderately. But again, choose what you mix it with. If it's a hard drink, if not, if you look at the beers, there are different beers out there with different. You hear them talk about the different carbohydrate levels that are in them, and that is important, quite honestly, when you're looking at weight control, because the body stores the carbohydrates that you take in as fat. It is that simple. So when you're taking in sugars and carbohydrates, they're going to get stored as fat.
So let's talk about this. Again, Dr. Spencer Berry with me in studio. We're talking about keeping yourself safe and fit through these holiday parties, the holiday season. There's obviously going to be people, myself probably included, that are going to say, hey, Doc, these tips sound great. And then I go and I fall off the wagon one night. I gorge myself or whatnot. What's the key for kind of the next morning or the next couple of days to get myself back on track?
Well, again, and it's not just the key for this time of year, it's the key through life. I mean, if you look at this as life is a game of accumulation. You know, if you look at it's day in, day out, it's what we do, it's the habits we establish, it's how we deal with, in this case, ourselves, managing and controlling our body weight. And we have to do it through holidays, we have to do it through the summer, we have to do it through barbecue season. I mean, there's a variety of, again, it's part of our life, and that's what we work at the clinic, is showing patients how to work with and what they need to be choosing, what choices to be making on a daily basis, so that they can, over time, make better choices more times than not, and therefore the laws of accumulation will catch up and you will end up achieving your goals and maintaining them. And so in this case, again, you never want to throw away everything that you've been working for or things that you're trying to do based on a lapse in judgment or a bad, if you will, a bad day or a bad night. Hey, that happens to everybody. You know, we all make poor choices.
It's the holidays.
That's right. We all have issues, and you have to. And sometimes you have to tell yourself before that hey, this is my birthday, or this is the holidays. This is a feast season, and so tonight I'm going to allow myself to eat the things and maybe a little more. But obviously, it comes down to portions, and it comes down to making that right choice more times than not. When you start doing that more times than not, that's when you start moving in the right direction. And it's not about 10 pounds in 2 weeks. It's about 10 pounds and then another 10 pounds and then another 10 pounds, if that's what you're looking for.
And I think the key thing, too, as we've talked about it before on the show, is, hey, if you can start to manage your weight effectively, you just have more energy, you've got more passion, more vitality, and that bleeds into every single area of your life. Again, Dr. Spencer Berry with me in studio. You can learn more at FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. Want to get to your phone calls locally, 271-1100, 271-1100. Karen, welcome to the Chris Berg Show.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
If I were going to go to some sort of beer party, which I don't think I would go to, I would bring any time of the year one or two wine coolers with me, which of course could apply to Christmas also. What do you think of that?
Well, if you look in the wine coolers, they're going to have, you look at the carbohydrate or the sugar content of them. Obviously, they make many of them. Very important that you, and then this is information that's readily available online. You can find the amount of sugar content, or specifically the carbohydrate. And that's one of the things we talk about and work with our patients, is how to figure out that carbohydrate content and break that down into teaspoons of sugar and make it kind of a simple amount. But in general, a wine cooler is going to have a lot of sugar in it. And again, the sugars or the carbohydrates, that is what we're looking to avoid.
Dr. Spencer Berry, FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. Want to get to one more phone call here. We got a couple of special guests coming up as well. We're going to be talking about Moorhead. Can they survive the budget cuts they're facing? That meeting's tonight for the Moorhead City Council. Also, be sure and go to my website, take the People's Poll. We're doing our own straw poll over the next couple of days about who's going to win this North Dakota GOP U.S. House race nomination. The website, again, chrisbergshow.com, chrisbergshow.com. Share it with your family and friends. We're going to have our own straw poll before Wednesday night's debate coming up at Valley City State University. Dr. Berry, anything else you want to share with us?
Well, yeah, I just would like to add that we're encouraging folks to start now and not wait till January 1st. It's a situation where the calendar obviously is the calendar, and that's all it is. And each day that we begin anew. We've got a new chance, if you will. So we don't need to wait for a new year to start a new you. And so when it comes down to your health and looking at things that are going to, in the long term, be better off for you and to get you started in the right direction, there's no better time to take control than there is right now. And that's what we help you to do at the clinic, is to help patients take control of their lives. And once they get that control back, once they start to understand that they can affect that, and we see that every day, folks that thought this was out of their hands, once it's back in their hands, it's very self-empowering. They get going. They start moving toward the goals that they want to move toward. And as you mentioned, Chris, this bleeds out into many aspects of life in terms of positive energy that they develop. And they start doing more things. They get more involved with more stuff. The enjoyment level, one of the things they talk about is the enjoyment level in their life.
Dr. Spencer Berry, FargoMedicalWeightLoss.com. I think the number one takeaway here is that if you're going to be going out to holiday parties, number one, don't show up there obviously super, super hungry, but also make sure you satiate yourself with a little bit of protein. That'll help mitigate you going, oh my gosh, look at all these great cookies and cocktails. I'm going to dive in and gorge myself. Hopefully it'll prevent that from happening.